So other than stocks and bonds, what other asset classes should an investor consider incorporating into a portfolio?
Other asset classes that people could consider would be things like natural resources, for example, commodities and metals. These are examples of things that are different than stocks and bonds, and they tend to move to different forms of economic sensitivities. For example, commodities tend to have positive price movement when we have positive inflation. In a sense, you could think of commodities as inflation. The cost of natural resources like food and water and metals, these price inputs tend to rise when we have inflation, whereas unexpected inflation and or rising inflation tends to be the enemy or negative to financial assets such as stocks and bonds. So we think that commodities and metals are an important part of a diversified portfolio. Another example of another asset class that investors could have in their portfolios is real estate. Now, real estate does have some similar characteristics to stocks and bonds, but it is not a stock or a bond, and it's another part of a diversified portfolio in our opinion. Other things that people often mistake as an asset class that people consider are things like derivatives, hedge funds, currencies. These are all things that we could discuss more about at another time, but it's important to recognize that hedge funds are not an asset class. Hedge funds are a form of structure to invest in asset classes such as stocks, bonds, real estate, and currencies. So perhaps investors could think of real estate, stocks, bonds, natural resources, commodities. These are examples of things that could be placed into a diversified portfolio.